Hi, Doug McCon of RealityMe.net here. We're continuing our exploration of contact juggling by James Ernest. I'm going to label this step 7. We're really beyond steps. We're into chapter 2, and now we're talking about the back-to-back transfer. So just a quick rundown. We did the Indian dance, the butterfly. We learned to roll from one side of the hand to the other, and now we're doing some transfers. So the one we're working on today is called the back-to-back transfer. So if we remember, this is the smooth, this is the cradle. The cradle is formed one finger dropping down here between your knuckles. Right here there's kind of a little pocket. So what we're going to be working on is having the ball in the cradle, and then you're going to move the hand in front is called the lead hand, and it's going to be the one catching. The hand with the ball is the one throwing. So right now the ball is the lead hand. The other hand's going to come under and put the cradle right there where it becomes the lead. It catches the ball. The next hand goes under, and you go from cradle to cradle, and once you get it down, you should be able to kind of keep the ball in one place, working cradle to cradle. And you're really kind of dropping it from one to the other, dropping it. But when you get the hands kind of close, remember your audience needs to see the ball. If you feel the urge to bring your hand over, you're actually blocking the ball from your audience. You want to come under and have that ball exposed as much as possible to the audience, so that you end up with this ball that's kind of floating in the air. With a crystal ball, it really looks really cool. Now let's talk about the smooth. If this is the throwing hand, a technique that I can use is to let the ball roll back on the smooth. We can't catch it on the smooth. We can't really control it on the smooth, but we can roll it on the smooth. So we're going to roll it back on the smooth and catch it with the other hand. So we'll roll it back on the smooth and catch it. Bring that other hand to the lead, roll it back on the smooth and catch it. This is an exercise that's going to make this whole process look smoother. I mean, this looks pretty good, but if you can roll it off the smooth and catch it, and then roll it off the smooth and catch it, your hands do more of this motion, which makes this ball look like it's floating in the air more than just doing this. So right now your goal is to learn to roll it from the throwing hand onto the smooth and catch it in the cradle of the lead. Move that hand to the lead, roll down the smooth and catch it. Your next challenge will be to actually catch it on the smooth of the lead hand. So you're going to go from the cradle to the smooth of the lead hand and let that roll into the cradle and catch it. So we're going to drop it to the smooth of the lead hand, roll it into the cradle. Oops. We're going from the throwing hand is going to the smooth, and the goal here is that you're going to end up going from the throwing hand, you're going to go to the smooth, you're going to drop it to the catching hand smooth, which is going to come to the cradle, which is going to go to the smooth, you're going to end up, your hands are going to end up doing this. So the steps again: get in the cradle, bring the other hand, the catching hand, to the lead, which means it's slightly in front. Drop that from the cradle to cradle. Bring this hand that just threw to the lead so it becomes the catching hand. Drop it to the cradle. Practice that a whole lot until you've got that pretty well. Once you get that, the next step is to take it from the cradle to the smooth of the throwing hand and catch it in the cradle. So you're going smooth, cradle. And you're bringing that hand around, smooth, cradle. The next step is going to be to go from the cradle of the throwing hand to the smooth of the catching and let that roll into the cradle. So we're going to, from the cradle of the throwing hand to the smooth, cradle to smooth to cradle. The final step will be to go from the cradle of the throwing hand to the smooth, drop down to the smooth of the catching hand to the cradle, and then cradle, 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 smooth, smooth, cradle, and keep doing that. Those are your back-to-back transfers. These are some basic moves that you're going to need to learn to really get the contact juggling working really well.